Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Mavid Vishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti. We'll chant chapter 16 of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, verses 16 to 20.
Anekachitavibhrantaha mohajalasamavೃತಾः prasaktaः kamabhogeshu patanti narakeshu chau atmasambhavitaस्तब्धाः धनमानमदान्विताः यजन्ते नाम यज्ञैस्ते दम्भेनाविधिपूर्वकम् अहंकारं बलं दर्पं कामं क्रोधं च संश्रिताः मामात्मपरदेहेषु प्रद्विषन्तोऽभ्यसूयकाः तानहं द्विषतः क्रूरान् संसारेषु नराधमान् क्षिपाम्यजस्रमशुभान् आसुरीष्वेव योनिषु आसुरीं योनिमापन्नाः मूढा जन्मनि जन्मनि मामप्राप्यैव कौन्तेय ततो यान्त्यधमां गतिम्.
In this chapter 16, we have covered up to shloka number 17. The third topic starts from verse 16 to 21. First, he discusses the qualities of divine and demoniac, where a lot of qualities of divine was discussed, little qualities of demoniac was discussed. This was from verse 1 to 6. Then from 7 to 15, the discussion was the nature and conduct of demoniac. Basically, the demoniac are selfish, self-centered, egoistic, and their only goal in life is to acquire and enjoy the sense objects of the world. They have no higher vision, no clue about the Atma, the self within. All they care for is instant pleasures. They give in to the ways of desires. Now, such demoniac people, he says from verse 16, they fall and sink into lower hell. This is the discussion. They sink into lower hell. First of all, as they live, they'll be mentally disturbed, and they keep gathering vasanas, and they will spiritually devolve also. Materially, they may acquire but not really enjoy. Mentally agitated, disturbed, and spiritually they devolve, gathering more and more vasanas, and they get into this rut. So they sink into the lowest of hell. Hell meaning not a geographical place, it's a state of mind. So this is the discussion from 16 to 21. By being demoniac, it may give you some instant pleasure, but it is actually a colossal loss. This is what the scriptures want us to understand. By being divine, you rise to the highest moksha. You enjoy this world. Being here, you enjoy. And you also rise to liberation, freedom, happiness. So that's the discussion finally in this chapter, the fourth topic, from verse 22 to 24. It says the divine rise to self-realization. They rise to that highest freedom, moksha. So this is the conflict that is going on in all of us. And that is exactly the symbolism behind the Mahabharata war also. You know, the Kauravas are 100 in number. The Pandavas are only 5 in number. And the Kauravas had more number of people on the battlefield supporting them. Pandavas had very less. You know, so the 11 Akshavanis of Kauravas and 7 Akshavanis of Pandavas and all that. So there is always this selfishness, egoism is there in every one of us. And we give in to them easily because it gives us instant pleasure. So therefore, most of us, we fall into it. That's exactly why the scriptures are needed, because in fact in the 18th chapter he's going to explain all this. See, it's not like what is bad for us, what is detrimental for us. From the beginning itself, it will be, appearing as detrimental. It won't be like that. It will be very attractive. It will sound as if it's good for us. Therefore, we choose that. He says that in the 18th chapter. The pleasures that we get through sense contacts, he says, are nectar in the beginning and poison in the end. Poison in the end doesn't mean when you die it will be poison, till then you will enjoy. It starts off like nectar, attracts you and you get caught. Whereas the joy, the bliss that one gets by practicing sense control, mind control, is poisonous in the beginning, nectarine in the end, he says. Poisonous in the sense it's difficult, it's not easy. It doesn't give us instant joy. And that's why even when we are putting in our efforts to control our senses and mind, we can slip. We do slip. So that's why we keep saying in Vedanta class, it doesn't matter how many times you slip. Of course, we should try not to slip. But if you slip, if you fall down, rise like a rubber ball. Don't fall down like a lead plate. It's a struggle. Conflict is going on between the divine and demoniac within. So, Kauravas and Pandavas are within us. So, the Pandavas chose to be on the side of Sri Krishna. Or rather, they surrendered to Sri Krishna and said, please be on our side. It was a tough choice, because the choice was between Sri Krishna and his entire army. Arjuna chose Sri Krishna. So the dividends will slowly come, but we must choose that. So if we choose the demoniac, then we sink in to hell. If we choose the divine, we rise. If we choose the demoniac, we fall. That's what he wants to say. And that's why the Shastras become very important. The role of masters become very important. Because what is detrimental for us appears as beneficial. What is beneficial for us appears very difficult, not very attractive. We say, leave it. So the Shastras will come and say, no, listen, this is what is going to happen. These are the consequences. Think about it. So that's why we should hold on to the scripture. I've mentioned this many times in the class. Some of us, disciples of Swamiji, or whosoever devotees, disciples, when they are into this kind of conducting classes and all that, it's not because all of us know many things and we are coming here to preach or anything like that. It's mainly a sadhana for all of us also. So it helps you by holding on to the study, and since you have the nature, you might as well talk to people who ask for it. That's all. But it helps, because you are keeping in touch with the subject. That's extremely important. So we have covered up to 17, as I said. In 16, he says, the demoniac people, aneka chitta vibhranta, means the mind is filled with thoughts. Like Ravana's heads, 10 heads. One head only we are not able to decide. 10 heads means each head is wanting to do this and that. So, the head is, one head is pulling this side, another head is pulling that side, you'll go mad. So that's how the demoniac people are. Bewildered by many a fancy, entangled in the web of delusion. They are deluded to believe that the real strength is in acquisition. They don't understand the power of renunciation. They are constantly in the acquisition and enjoyment game. So they're in delusion. They are addicted to sensual enjoyments. They fall into a foul hell. No. Patanti narake narakashucha. They narakeshucha. They fall into foul hell. The mind is agitated, disturbed. So, this is the condition of people who choose to be selfish, egoistic. And then he says self-conceited, stubborn, overpowered by pride and arrogance. Pride of their, in fact, many of them, they have not achieved. They may be born in a family where the grandfather has achieved many things. He or she has not achieved. But then they will talk high about them. Self-conceit. Like I said last class, it is so boring to be with them because they keep on praising themselves. And then they'll say, I don't like to talk about myself. I don't talk about myself. But 24/7 they talk about themselves. Self-conceited, stubborn, overpowered by pride and arrogance. Arrogance about their wealth. They perform sacrifices in name out of ostentation, contrary to ordinance. They may not do yajna, dana, tapa, or even if they do yajna, they don't do it from the bottom of their heart with shraddha. They don't have shraddha. They do it with a lot of ostentation, pretense. And they don't follow what the Shastras say. Firstly, when you do yajna, there has to be shraddha, that belief. Your kayika, vachika, manasa should be integrated. Your body, your words, your mind, you all should be integrated when you do yajna. Otherwise, what's the point? So that they won't have. Then they'll compromise on the dravya that needs to be sacrificed. They will tell the priest also, please shorten the mantras, do it quickly. And then they won't distribute the gifts to be distributed to the participants. And even to the priest who does the yajna, they don't really give him the dakshana as it should be given. In every sense, they don't follow the ordinance. That's what he's saying. Contrary to ordinance. See, why we do yajna? First of all, what is spirituality? Spirituality is self-effacement in all possible angles, using your body, mind, and intellect. You engage yourself in dissolving the ego as much as possible. That's all. That's all it is. But so therefore, when you do yajna, when you do dhanam, you see, the wealth you have acquired is now yours. Every now and then you check in your bank app, what is everything is in the app. You check. Even if you don't check, they send you a message. Today, this is the balance. So you're happy. So you remember what was the balance yesterday. And today, some automatic payment would have gone. And suddenly you get heart attack. It is gone for your expense only. I think you say, my God. In the sense, the wealth is now become you. So when it reduces, you feel a part of you is gone. So when you consciously do dhanam, it's an exercise, it's a process of dissolving ego. So yajna, dana, tapa, in all this, the emphasis is in dissolution of ego, not in asserting the ego, enhancing the ego, strengthening the ego. So here he says, when they do in ostentation and contrary to ordinance, instead of reducing the ego, they are going to increase it. They want their name. They want to say that, I've done this many yajnas, that many yajnas. The more spiritual you become, the more quiet you become about these things. You don't talk about it. So, he says they perform sacrifices in name. See, it's also I told, Naam ke vasta, they say. For the namesake they do. It's not integrated. The body, organ of speech, and mind. Kayika, vachika, manasa. There's no integration. It's all just for the namesake. They just want to put the tick mark. These are the things I'm supposed to do, I'll do. It's just ticking. We keep ticking, that's it. So, in that sense, just for the namesake. See, when we do namesake, you can convince some people around you. They will also not be convinced. You may think you are convincing them. But deep inside you know, the truth knows how sincere you are. And only according to the sincerity you are going to get the results. So therefore, he says they do it nama yajna. They do for the sake of nama. And with ostentation and totally contrary to ordinance. Totally against what the scriptures have said. How you should do yajna. They do ulta. Doing it in a hurry. All this he said. Now let's get on to verse 18.
Ahamkaram balam darpam kamam krodham cha samshritaha mamatma paradeheshu pradvishamtobhyasuyakaha.
Ahamkaram, balam, darpam. All that he is saying is demoniac. Ahankaram, balam, darpam, kamam, krodham, cha samshrita. Given over to egoism, power, haughtiness, lust and wrath. desire and hunger. The malicious people detest me. He says, the malicious people detest me. Pradvishantaha means they detest. They detest me, the self, within and without, in their own and in others' bodies. See, the self-centered person's, egoistic person's thought is that the world is made only for their enjoyment. Everybody around are to serve them. I alone exist. I am the doer. I am supreme. So the world should keep catering to them. Constantly it should cater to me. Obviously it's not possible. I think in one of the classes we discussed the example that Swamiji gives in the book Vedanta Treatise. They are like cone that is resting on its apex. Is it possible for the cone to rest on its apex? It's not possible. So you need a lot of support for it to stand on the apex. By itself it will fall. So they are like that. Whereas a divine person is like the cone that is resting on its base. The foundation is strong. Their mind is broad, not selfish. They are broad-minded. So there's a vast difference between the two. So these egoistic people, they are like cone resting on its apex. So many factors should go to make them continue life. It's not possible. World is not designed to cater to one person only. So there will be all the time agitation because many things of yours will not be fulfilled, many desires. So they are given into, the exaggerated desire, kama and krodha. When the desire doesn't meet, they get angry with whoever is interrupting it. And this is the thing. See, balam. In the Gita itself, he said, Sri Krishna said, he very clearly says, what is he? He says, dharma viruddho bhuteshu, kamosmi bharatarsham. I am the desire bereft of adharma. Dharma viruddho bhuteshu, kamosmi bharatarsham. I am desire aligned with dharma. This power. Desire only for me, selfish. I don't think in terms of contribution. I only think in terms of acquiring from the world. Though I'm getting all the benefits from the world from the time I'm born. This is how they live. They want power. So, he calls us malicious people. So, abhyasuyakaha, malicious people. They go to any extent to harm others for their benefit. And therefore, they detest me, the Atma, the Brahman. See, the real fulcrum for this whole Dharma Chakra to continue is Atman Brahman. Atman word is with reference to the individual. Brahman word is with reference to the total. It's the same thing. They are not different. They want all the focus on themselves. They don't want the attention to slip out of them Therefore, they detest. You see, I've mentioned this in our classes before also. In a house where somebody is dead, they would like to be the dead body, because everybody's focus is on the dead body. Some people say, see, even this person, even in death, even when he's died, there is a smile. Everybody is focusing on the dead body. So this fellow gets agitated. He wants the focus on himself. So he will detest dharma. Me here means Ishvara. And Sri Krishna is speaking, he is not speaking as Mr. Krishna here. He is speaking as Ishvara. Again, you can think of yourself as the wave or as ocean. It's up to you. This wave ocean example we give to make us understand that wave is essentially ocean only. But stupidly, if a wave assumes that it is separate from the ocean and has only wave identity, obviously it will be scared that the big waves will eat up the small one. So my existence is at risk, etc., etc. So this is the stupidity of the wave. Wave, when it understands that it is ocean, it will move to another level of understanding. What? I am not even ocean. I am water. Water, with reference to a very small identification, it is wave. The total is called ocean, but essentially it is water. Similarly, Brahman, with reference to the individual vasanas, called Jiva. Brahman, with reference to the total vasanas, is called Ishvara. So here, obviously, Brahman doesn't talk. When Brahman talks means you call it as Ishvara. Brahman identified with the total, not with the limited. Ishvara is speaking, and who is Ishvara? Karma phala data. That's how this whole universe is running. Isn't it? Each one getting results according to their actions. There is an ordainer. Like Shakespeare says, there's a divinity that shapes our ends. You may not see it. You are not seeing it not because it is not there. You are not seeing it because you are not pure. Jesus Christ says, blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. If you want to see the truth, you need to have some amount of innocence, some amount of purity. Purity, how will you see? Not possible. So therefore, they detest the dharma. They detest Ishvara. Who is this maintaining this law, result and all that? Why my desire is not fulfilled? Right now, I'm thinking I want this, it should come immediately. Who is this behind this law that I want this means I have to work and then I have to get it? I don't want this law. I want to change it. They detest it within and without. They can't stand the truth. It won't give them immediate results. They only love immediate results. They don't like people who will help them to evolve. They only like people who please them. So they detest all good people, divine people, the truth, the law, the method, the order. They don't like all that. That's what he's saying. They detest me in their own and in others' words. They hate the law. They say, hell with law. They don't like it. So they feel they are qualified. They should get it. That's their ego. That's their, nature. They don't believe that I have to work, I have to sow the seed, I have to take care, I have to do everything. Then later on, I'll get the result. Why I want all that? Right now, as I sow the seed, I must get the result. That's how they think. Therefore, they have no interest whatsoever in Atman, Brahman, realization, self-control, mind control, which will bring the bliss from within, a sustained happiness. Babre, you keep all that. We don't want all that. All we want is instant joy. Pleasure. Enjoy. Therefore, they will obviously be retesting the truth. All dharmic people they hate. They can't understand. They'll think it's all waste of time. So that's what he's saying. They detest me in their own and in others' bodies. Meaning, if somebody else is following it, that also they cannot stand. What madness you follow, sir? Wasting your precious time sitting and studying Gita. Useless fellows. They'll think like this. That's what he's saying. In the commentary also, Swamiji says, they reject God and woo the world. They reject God, meaning they reject dharma, they reject higher values. They have no higher values, nothing. So if you have higher values, they detest you also. They hate you. What is this fellow all the time talking about dharma, this thing, that thing? Better to finish that fellow. That sense. So they detest the benefactors and court the malefactors, obviously because of their ignorance. No wise fellow is going to do that. So, therefore, he says, these are malicious people. They hate order. They want the world to serve them. That's it. Nothing else. This is how a demoniac person will function. When you function like that, obviously, you are going to devolve. See, the law is no selfish person will be happy. No selfish means no egoistic person will be happy. No unselfish, selfless person can be unhappy. It's a law. Wherever your ego comes, you are going to be agitated. You will do your duty and say, how much I'm doing, there's nobody respecting it. Then people say, in spite of me doing so much duty, why am I suffering? Because your focus is more on you than the duty you're doing. That fellow is not doing anything, he's sleeping. He's tamasic. Agreed. You are doing, but then why you are agitated? That's what they ask. I'm doing all the duty, but I'm only suffering. Why? Why? Because you're egoistic. You're viewing the whole thing from your angle. You don't listen to Guru Nanak Ji. Tera na mera. You never listen to that. All the time it's me, 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 me. See, once upon a time, human beings believed that the sun is revolving around the earth. And I am in the earth. I am living on the earth. Now, if the sun is revolving around the earth, that means I am at the center. So when a scientist came and said, listen, Baba, sun is not revolving, earth is revolving around the sun. Now it became a problem. Why? You are replaced from the center. Isn't it? This is the problem. Till now, supposing, in the business, in company also it happens. Till a new employee came who also is very good, he also works hard, he is also intelligent and does many things, he or she. And a manager who's been till date referring everything to you, now started referring few things to that person also. And you hate. Before this fellow came, everything I was important. Now this fellow has come, my importance is reduced. That's the thing. Exactly, this is the problem. The importance is gone. So now what happens? Before I believed sun is revolving around the earth, then I become important. I am center. Now, no, earth is revolving means you are rotating. That means you are at the periphery. You are not at the center. This is the problem. That's why they killed the fellow. Oh, you are coming and telling us like this? Finish the fellow. That's what he's saying. You see what happened to Jesus Christ? They crucified him. Socrates poisoned. You find out. They want people who toe their way of thinking. See, in a way, psychologically, if you see, we love people who agree with our convictions. We are convinced already. We have formed our opinion about certain things already. And if somebody else come and give logic supporting your opinion, your conviction, you say they are good people, they are thinkers. They say something drastically different, you will not agree with it. So that's why they say you can only convince a person who is already convinced. They are already convinced people. They are all convinced that Sri Krishna is an avatara. Therefore, whatever he did is correct. There must be some reason, some logic. There must be something. And that something also, some interpretations, according to your acceptance, should be. So, this is the thing. You resist original thinkers. You hate original thinkers. You want say the same thing what everybody say. You don't say something, purposely different. That is not what I'm saying. Nobody thinks originally, experiences and talks. So what happens to those people, he explains in the next shloka. Verse 19.
तानहं द्विषतः क्रूरान् संसारेषु नराधमान् क्षिपाम्यजस्रमशुभान् आसुरीष्वेव योनिषु.
These cruel haters, worst of men, I hurl these evildoers forever in the worlds, only in demoniac wombs. See, first of all, when he says, I hurl them, like I said before, here he is talking as Ishvara, who is the Phaladata. Ishvara gives the fruit, results, according to everybody's action. And we say this in the class. You are punished or rewarded by your actions, not for your actions. Okay? You are punished or rewarded by your actions, not for your actions. Remember that by and for. That's very important. If you do action, the result will be according to that. Whether it's good or bad, accordingly it will be. Why hate Ishvara? It's all because this fellow is maintaining the law. Finish that fellow. Find out where he is. You can finish him. I can live as I want. See, people are so deluded about what is freedom and what is licentiousness. Demoniac people like licentiousness. They don't want freedom. They want licentiousness. Freedom comes with responsibility. Freedom comes with discipline. Freedom is not doing whatever I like. Freedom is doing whatever is right. Capacity to do whatever is right is freedom. So he says, these cruel haters, worst of men. See, it looks as if Sri Krishna is fed up and is coming up with all kinds of adjectives to address such people. See, all of us have a choice. Having been born as a human being, we have the potential to rise. So when we throw that potential, waste it, he says, you're worst of men. I hurl these evildoers, the selfish people, egoistic people. I hurl means the law of karma, the law, LAW. See, they say no in English. None can break the law. One can only break oneself against the law. You better abide as per the law, you live. Abide by the laws. If you simply say, I don't care about the law, obviously it will hit us. So that's what he's saying. These cruel haters, worst of men, I hurl these evildoers forever. Forever is a relative term in this context. Forever doesn't mean that's it. I don't have a choice. I'll always be in hell. Not like that. But still. But the problem is, we are in the downward spiral. And when we go into the downward spiral, we really completely get lost. So that's why he says, I hurl these evildoers forever. The law will keep them because they'll continue doing selfish actions. They'll produce more vasanas and they produce more vasanas. Therefore, they continue in that cycle accordingly. Till someday they realize and they wake up and they come back. So forever in the world's only in the demoniac wombs. See the environment, the family in which they are born. All this is as per our karma. Isn't it? So, therefore he says, they choose the asuric, demoniac womb. That is the thing. They don't choose the family, the environment that is conducive for their evolution. They choose all the selfish, self-centered, egoistic atmosphere, environment, and they keep deteriorating. Have you ever put some effort somewhere to pull yourself? Only indulgence. So that's what he says. they form a, the vicious cycle. They spiral downwards. It becomes very difficult to extricate oneself from such fall. Because when we keep falling into tamas, we don't even know that we are deluded. They say in English, a madman doesn't know that he is mad. To the extent we are mad, we don't know that we are mad. Take, for example, anger. One statement all of us make when we are angry. I don't know what I will do when I am angry. That's true. That's not just true for you. That's true for everybody. When they get angry, they don't know what they're doing. They're not in their control. They will tell the boss, you keep the job. The job knows that, the boss knows that you have a lot of loans and all that. So he's saying, Arey yaar, don't give me the resignation, keep it with you. No, you keep it. So, you put mud on your own head. This kind of delusion in anger means what? You are mad, but you don't know that you are mad. One thing is to be mad. Other thing is to know that I am mad. At least there is hope for that fellow. If you don't know, it's a big problem. So Swamiji in the book, I think, Fall of the Human Intellect, he says, to know that you don't have intellect, you need some intellect. This is the problem. So, therefore, they spiral downwards. If you don't drive the car properly, you close your eyes and drive. Obviously, you will meet with accident. So, in life, if we give in to our ego and we function thus, we will also be spiraling down. And as we spiral down, we fall into more and more tamas, it becomes so difficult to understand. It's not that easy. That's all he's saying. Therefore, he says forever. Forever I hold them. Forever doesn't mean that you don't have redemption, no choice at all. Of course you have. Of course you have choice. But it's not easy. Next slow.
आसुरीं योनिमापन्नाः मूढा जन्मनि जन्मनि मामप्राप्यैव कौन्तेय ततो यान्त्यधमां गतिम्.
Having fallen into demoniac wombs, the deluded, birth after birth, without reaching me, without attaining moksha, then pass into a still lower state, O Kaunteya, O Kunti Putra. He addresses Arjuna as Kaunteya here because he's talking about the womb you choose and keep deteriorating. So, to refer to that, he said, you are born in Kunti's womb. Which means what? You are a divine person. Otherwise, you will choose an environment which is detrimental for you. Having fallen into demoniac wombs, the deluded people, because nobody will make such a choice if you are wise. Birth after birth, time after time, repeatedly we do. See, one fellow, had both his ears burnt. So he was taken to the hospital. The doctor asked, "What happened? How did you burn your ears?" He said, "Sir, I was ironing, and a friend of mine called on the mobile, which I had kept on the side. By mistake, instead of taking the mobile and keeping on my ears, I took the iron and kept it there, the hot iron. So my right ears got burnt. Right ear got burnt. Oh, what about the left then? How did that happen?" He said, "That stupid fellow called again." Oh, who is stupid here? Is he the stupid fellow or the other fellow? Repeating it, na? Means he didn't think. In that sense. So, therefore, birth after birth, we keep into such a lower level. And we keep going downward spiral. Then pass into a still lower state. All kinds of wombs we fall into. And away from different angle, when you look at it, that is also for our good only. And many things we won't be able to do in this body as human beings. So if you are fallen into some animal body, at least certain things will go. But once you exhaust that, again you come back to human. But again you don't learn, then you continue. That's what he means by saying still lower and lower. Because the egoistic person has the attitude, what? I know it all. Who are you to tell me? There is nothing wrong in me. I am perfect. Only the world requires correction. Let them correct. I am not correcting myself because there is nothing for me to correct. This is how he thinks or she thinks. So, therefore, there is no redemption. That is the problem. Every time I go to work, I am getting stressed. When I get out of work and go to some relaxing place, I feel I'm stress free. So I come to conclusion, work gives me stress. Because when I'm out of work, relaxing, fine. So therefore work gives me stress. No. Once you go to work, you are contacting work as doer. Can the doership not give you stress rather than the work? You don't think like that. Your logic is simple. And I'm not doing anything, I'm relaxed. I'm doing something, I get stress. So therefore work gives me stress. Work is not giving you stress. Your attitude to work when you get there. I'm the doer, I'm doing this. I'm important. I'm this, I'm that. Obviously, you'll be stressed. When you carry 10 kilogram luggage, you feel it's so heavy. But when you carry your child who is 10 kilograms, you're not feeling it. Why? Here there is love, there was only labor. When there is only labor, there is going to be stress. When there is love, no stress. But you say, no, this luggage gives me stress. Same work, I think I got an opportunity to serve. No stress. How much to do if I think? Stress. It is all in our attitude. But we will never change the attitude because we think we are fine. I'm perfect. This is the problem. So he says, having fallen into demoniac wombs that deluded birth after birth, keep on choosing the sense indulgence, and therefore, without reaching the Atma, because there is no sense control, self control, mind control, nothing, they pass into still lower state, O Kaunteya, O Kuti Putra Arjuna. This is not work. It's not Mr. Krishna at work. This is how the law works. Let's conclude here and continue next week. Oh. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.